vehicle tracks here. Hopefully it's leading me in the right direction. Can you see anything yet? Keep your eyes peeled. I've spotted the surprise. Have you spotted the surprise, Thunder? Thunder has spotted the surprise. Oh, it's quite thick in here. We're going to try and get into a good spot. Now let's see who's going to be the first to be able to identify the surprise. Hello, you. Let's see who's going to be the fastest. If you know which leopard this is, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter or questions at WildEarthTV. Who is that? She's very hot. And that's because she's being busy. And a little bit earlier today, just to the left of her, I don't know if you can see it there, we're just through the bush, she just caught a duiker. One station with one Sati Ingwe off Central Junction, Ingwe Road. There she is. Who's going to be the fastest? Everyone thought it was a cheetah, but I'm so sneaky it wasn't. Standing by. Negative. I thought F called me in. I'm in the position. Well done, Emma and Deborah. It is indeed Tandi, Karula's first born, or from her first litter, Shadow's Esther. But she's looking very, very hot and bothered. We don't have much time here. There are quite a lot of vehicles that are on their way here, so we won't spend too long. But exciting. Hopefully she takes that up into that marula tree above her, and maybe tomorrow Tandi's cubs might be here. There we go, sleeping in the shade after eating a bit of that duiker. Hopefully she does take it up shortly. As I said, it's a perfect tree right next to her, and then hopefully tomorrow morning she brings the little ones to visit. Wouldn't that be spectacular? Chai Connie is wondering how far vertically can an adult leopard leap. They can probably leap a good 4 or 5 meters vertically if they have to. There we go. Oh, I think see how she's looking up the tree. Hopefully she maybe takes that duiker up the tree before we have to leave. Isn't she gorgeous? For me, she's a bit darker than her sister Shadow and cooler, her coloration. And of course she does have those two wonderful little babies at the moment. And I really hope that she brings them through tomorrow. Okay, so there's a few people who are making their way in here, so it was a short visit. We will probably check in a little bit later when there are less people around, but I'm going to have to make my way out now. Okay, well, we leave Thandi, and I hope that she goes and fetches the cubs tonight. Let's go back to Jamie to see what she's up to on Djuma.
Oh, interesting times happening. Tax and I are playing a game. I was going to rush off.
Yeah, I'll make my way towards your side there.
I was about to rush off towards Bulla, who's at Sydney's dam, but I suddenly realised that we're not going to have any signal there on Jigger, and he is just having a drink before going back to his kill, which is on the other side of the dam wall. So he's killed a waterbuck. Now, Tax and I seem to be playing a game this afternoon. Let's just stop and have a quick look at the Ellies here. He's found the lions, and he's told me to come and track him. He won't tell me where he is. He says come and track him and find him. So he said track me from Wildebeest Dam, and he wants to see how good a tracker I am. I can see clearly where he's gone through the entire dam and out the other side.
Yeah, they're coming from the block there. They're quite full. So they just bumped us.
Oh, look at this. Stunning. And, right, I see Rexon. I'm going to cheat. Is that bad? I don't think so. I'm going to follow Rexon there. He's teaching us a survival skill. Cheating is a survival skill. Oh, ain't that the truth, VMP? Beautiful elephant herd. Goodness, we've just got everything all the time. No idea where to start and where to finish. Beautiful herd of elephants coming through. Wonderful. Let's just move back a little bit. Actually, too late. Davina in Illinois. Hello, girlies. You want to know at what age elephants will stop having babies or stop having calves? And the answer is, wow, they got here fast. I was planning on moving back before they all arrived, but that's okay. We'll sit here quietly. Davina, you're probably looking at around 40 odd years they will go through menopause, but it will depend upon each individual. So I'm not 100% sure what the average age would be. Hi guys. Hi big girls. Hello. Hello. I love this feeling. Let me just duck down. You can hear the sounds of them feeding. Sucking the pipes where the water comes out. Hello. Oh, no, little one. This is where Mommy's drinking.
doing?
This is the much desired spot that the elephants have found, right where the fresh water comes out of the pipe. So the female's learnt that she can actually suck the water through the pipe and get the freshest possible water through there. See the other elephants pushing and shoving to get in there. She's just nudging them back. Tax, I will be on my way shortly. I'm just with some in Dlorva Toy Dam. Thank you very much. Doesn't this sound amazing? The way she's closing her trunk, forming a seal, and trying to suck the water out through it. Now they have stopped pumping this pan. They've stopped putting water in Gallagher pan for now, and for very good reason. There's enough water for the animals to drink at the moment since the rains, and every time that this pan is pumped, or every time water comes through, it has to come through from somewhere, and that is from underneath the surface of the soil. So they will start pumping again when the water levels get low, but for now there's enough water that they don't need to. But this elephant cow is just not taking no for an answer. She's using it like a straw. It's incredible. Sound effects. You naughty little thing. You just flicked Mom's trunk out of the way. Oh, they're amazing. They truly, truly are. You are so lucky to have moments like this. And the problem-solving ability of these animals. What's wrong, little baby? Is your foot itchy now? Or is your trunk itchy? Not quite sure which body part is being scratched there. Mud, glorious mud. Creatures. Hi, big girl. Hello, big girl. Just chatting away to her. Hello, big girl. It's alright. I'm not going to hurt your family, I promise. I promise. It's okay. And Jig, you were wondering if female elephants... Sorry, I'm not looking back at you for now. I just want to keep an eye on her. Her body language has gone odd. Hi, girl. You were wondering if female elephants are more sensitive than others. And the answer is no, not necessarily. Okay, big girl. It's alright, I'm not going anywhere. Not doing anything. Hands off the steering wheel. Give up. Yes, they are, to a degree. So the females are more protective over their herd. So it's not about necessarily sensitivity. They just have a role that they fill, and that role is to be the protector of their entire family group, which they perform admirably, as this one is clearly doing, chasing impala for no clear reason. It's just in their way. Okay, it's stopped now. That being said, it's difficult to have general rules. The females of any species, like the lionesses with their young, are generally more protective and actually usually more dangerous. The males are slightly more secure in themselves and not too concerned about the presence of other creatures, humans included. But sometimes you get a bull and must, at which point you have to treat them very, very differently, with their sort of testosterone levels through the roof. Just listening to the Game Drive channel, sorry. With their testosterone levels through the roof, they behave erratically and unpredictably. Any animal can be unpredictable though. Karula, we could find her, she might have a bad day. We've seen her have days where she's clearly not happy. We've had elephants that clearly aren't happy for no discernible reason. You never know what's happened in that animal's life just before you've arrived on the scene. Okay. But spoiled for choice. Let's go and see those lions. In the meantime, let's head across, find out how Brent is doing on Cheetah Plains.
Eggsy and I just had a herd of impala at full tilt coming past us across the road away from our Cheetah Plains antenna. So we just decided to have a quick look what possibly could have scared them. Now, I don't want to say it out loud and jinx it, but I am hoping for a spotted cat and not a leopard. This is the area where the impala came running from, and we're right next to the Cheetah Plains mast. So here's our mast coming up. That gives us the wonderful signal on Cheetah Plains. It's so far nothing about. Look at that on my hat. The smallest of small, the tiniest of tiny little inchworms. He's displaying a defensive posture because I moved him. Now, you want to see, to give you an idea how small that is, let me put my Leatherman behind. he's a very small worm. Look at my finger. He's tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, that's with super zoom, and you can see how small he is. Come on, little wormy. Find us a cheetah. Oh, I said it out loud. Darn it. Oh, wait, look, now he's dancing. Quickly, he's dancing. Oh, now he stopped. There we go. He's on the move. He's looking to which way to go. So they thread silk. Look at him go. I better find it. Here we go, okay. Let's go. Now, if that cheetah missed, 3 in a row pan's not far from here. Well, if it was a cheetah, or what? Maybe it was wild dogs. Those impala were going like a Boeing, for lack of a better description. Now, James Dungan is wondering, do the wild dogs ever run through Cheetah Plains? They do. The 3 that we've been seeing quite regularly have been seen here, as well as another pack from the Kruger. I'm not sure who they are though. I think James had a wild dog sighting down here as well. Now, if whatever it was unsuccessful, there's not as many of the natural pans on Cheetah Plains as there are in Djuma. So there's a good chance that whatever it was, if unsuccessful, might have headed to 3 in a row pan. So we're going to do the same. I'm really hoping there's a cheetah about. Come on, Cheetah. I got that lucky feeling in my bones today. I mean, we've already seen Karula, Shongile, Hosana, Tandi. Come on. And I know Jamie's on her way to something. I just got that feeling. Because of all the gremlins, we need to be treated now. So the way those impala were running was not playing where they run fast but then they do that sort of rocking motion. These guys were just literally shooting like a bullet. So I'm just fiddling with the radio thing here. I'm just going to ask Kirsten to speak to me quickly. Kirsty, speak. So, Michael's wondering, is quarantine still at his kill? I'm assuming so. I was going to sort of make my way there until we saw those impala shooting through this area like a rocket. I decided it was definitely worth the investigation, Michael. Bless you, Xander. So no sign of anything just yet. I'm keeping a lookout for tracks, but if that cheetah was going full steam. Okay. While we keep checking this area, let's go back to Jamie and see what she's been up to while we've been chasing ghosts.
What an extraordinary afternoon it has been. Amazing elephant sightings, and now we're trundling along to the lions. We might have to wait for a little while on standby. I know that there are 3 vehicles in the sighting. I'm sorry we couldn't take you to Mbula, but just know that he's happy, healthy, and has a massive water bucket kill behind Sydney's dam wall. Unfortunately, it's our worst signal spot, and Jigga just won't manage it. But all in all, I think we've had an incredible afternoon. 4 different leopards, possibly 5 if Brent gets to quarantine, plus lions and cubs on a kill. It's been quite special. Spoiled for choice this afternoon. I was on my way back to Karula. Let's just stop off at the lions for a little bit and then we'll make a decision from there as to which way we go. Unfortunately, Jigga is not kitted out with the infrared, which means that if it does get too dark, we will have to leave any cub sightings since we're not spotlighting them. And I know that in particular Karula's sighting is sensitive in that she hasn't yet hoisted her impala into the tree, or at least she hadn't last time I heard. Right, so let me just hop on the Game Drive channel. Oh, whoopsie daisies. Tax, I've got your visual. I'm happy to stand by on Finn's Road or Rebecca's Road for a while.
No, you're welcome to make it West 28.
Oh, there's a lion there. Okay, copy that, thank you. There are lions right there. Exhausted, well-fed lions. Hello. So this is where you've been hiding today. Completely the opposite side of Djuma to your usual haunt. Hello, Amber. Good morning. I had a suspicion they were sitting on a kill somewhere along the lines. Yes, it is a good afternoon. Well, I meant good morning in that she was lifting her head and looking at me with that dozy early morning expression. I had a suspicion that they had made a kill, and that proved to be correct. And back to sleep once again. I think she's pregnant. Look at those nipples. Definitely more prominent than they might otherwise normally be. Hey girl, are we going to have some new additions to the Nkuhumas? I wonder where she's going to choose to den them. It'll be wonderful. I can't wait. Imagine more cubs bumbling about. Oh, somebody's calling. Okay. Alright. Let's leave our sleepy lionesses for now, because Tax is telling me that the cubs are being very cute, all feeding at the carcass. Let's go and have a look at what they've managed to catch. The incredible Nkuhumas do it again. What was that all about? Don't you start that nonsense, Jigger. Oh, wonderful. Let's get ourselves into a nice spot. Right, hold on. Little cub is going to pounce. Oh, okay. False alarm. Let's go to the carcass quickly. You want to shoot into the light? Okie dokie, that can be arranged. Let's try and find a good spot. I don't know where this buffalo kill is. Behind the termite mound, by the termite mound, okay. Let's try and find a good spot. Vim says we can get some, oh hold on. Yes you do. Vim says it's really nice light to shoot into it. So we're going to try and reposition so that we can do that. Pinned to the ground. So incredibly playful. Actually got lion cubs everywhere. I'm going to just try and get a lay of the land quickly so that we don't startle anybody. There's another lioness on her way, so I don't want to block anyone just yet. Let's just hang 10 for a moment. She's coming to call her cubs. I don't remember Amber Eyes' nipples looking that prominent 2 weeks ago, which does make me think that she's pregnant. This is one of the lactating females, and you can see the difference. They always have suckle marks around their bellies. Oh, but all very, very full of food. Making her way back towards the cubs. Oh. The gaze of a very tolerant mother. Well, just step over the cub. I wonder which mum she is. She's still calling, wanting to make sure she's got all cubs accounted for. Conk. All crying and making their begging sounds. Now, Andy, you wanted to know how much male lions tolerate each other. It depends on the situation. So males of the same coalition that have formed a coalition together, whether they be related or unrelated, both are possibilities, will be exceptionally tolerant of each other, to the point that they have actually very, very tight social bonds comparable to the lionesses. The Birmingham boys are the best of friends for the most part until it comes time for mating. And you little ones, struggling to find a good position here. There's just so much happening. Let's just keep going around. Oh. Males with male cubs that they have sired will be tolerant of their offspring to a degree until it is time for the males to disperse, at which point, when they've reached sexual maturity, their fathers are no longer particularly understanding of them. I think it's going to be quite tricky there. We might have to settle for a sideways view. Awesome view of Andrew and his guests on Cheetah Plains. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You can see one of the cubs on the kill. There's a little cub feeding at the back on a carcass. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely worth shifting around a little bit. And then a beautiful shot of the lionesses right next to a Cheetah Plains vehicle, panting away happily. Right, males, talking about tolerance of each other. Sexually mature males that are not part of the same coalition are completely intolerant of each other. So dominant males, if they find another male in their territory, will not hesitate to kill that male, or at the very least cause it serious damage and chase it away, whether it be old or young, a threat or not a threat. All male lions are out to do is propagate their genetics, which means that any presence of any other male lion is a threat. And Gorgon, I think this is a name that I haven't heard before. Speaking of the males, you're wondering, are the males, why aren't they here? Are they out hunting for food this late? And the answer is, perhaps they're out hunting, but only for food for themselves. So male lions do not spend their entire time with the pride. They have a territory that encompasses the territories of a couple of different female prides. So pride is actually just made up of females and their offspring. And then from there, what will happen is the males will associate with the females, perhaps to share kills, and if one of the females is ready to mate. Oh, gorgeous. Too sweet. So the males are probably out patrolling their territory. Yesterday on the sunset safari, one of the males was courting one of the youngest Nkuhuma lioness. So he might be with her somewhere else. I've only counted 4 lionesses. Hello, you. Are you looking for company? Somebody to play with. Now, the males of this pride, the dominant males of this pride, the Birmingham boys, are around. They're very tolerant fathers, but they do not hunt for the lionesses. They hunt for themselves. The lionesses do all of the providing for their families. Sometimes they might hunt together, in which case the male usually takes the majority of the kill. Such playful little creatures. Oh, that's just rude, little one. Interrupted. Always playtime. Even when one of the cubs is relieving itself. Little female wandering off there with a little, looks like a little male at the back. Have to see underneath its tail. Oh, got practicing that buffalo hold that will be so important in their future. Can't believe how big they've got. Hard to believe they are the same lions that we saw gambling across quarantine not so long ago. Thoroughly pinned to the ground. Look how huge their feet are. Our dispatch griffin, as the little male and the little female play together. You want to know, speaking of coalition formation, whether or not a coalition will ever accept their own male offspring into the coalition itself. There might be one or two limited exceptions, but for the most part, no, they do not. And the reason that they do not is because those males are dominant over a pride. Once their male offspring reach sexual maturity, if they were to accept them into the pride itself, or into the coalition itself, they would have the opportunity to mate with their mothers, sisters, and aunts. So it's something that we started to see with Junior. He was expressing an interest in his pride mates, in the female pride mates, whether they were his mother, one of them was his mother, or possibly sisters or aunts. So nature has devised a way of reducing the risk of inbreeding. And it does happen. Males do, within leopards, lions, any of the big cats, will reproduce with related either siblings or parents. But nature does try and prevent that from happening, because obviously that's not an ideal way of managing the genetic line of a group of cats. Lion genetics tend to be quite resilient to that sort of thing. It takes quite a few breeding cycles or generations before the negative impacts of inbreeding occur. But no, even a sexually mature male offspring is a threat to established dominant males. And if the Birmingham boys hadn't been in the process of taking over the Matimba male's territory when Junior reached sexual maturity, the Matimba males would probably also have played a role in kicking him out and sending him off on his own. But the instinct seems to be to just disperse away from that area. I'm going to do some shifting around, see if we can have a look at the carcass. In the meantime, let's head across to Brent, find out how Cheetah Plains is treating him.
I'm desperately searching for Cheetah. No luck so far. Nothing came out at 3 in a row pan. So I'm making my way down towards the southern open areas. And if we get no luck there, we might have to go see Mr. Q. That sounds like Nkuhuma's caught another buffalo. Hashtag incredible Nkuhumas. I don't know if it's catching on yet, but Eggsy's going to hashtag it now, and then it'll be viral, won't it, Eggs? There we go, he'll try. Eggs is going to hashtag incredible Nkuhumas, and it's going to go viral. He's getting t-shirts made and everything. You realize if you say that, Eggs, you actually have to make a t-shirt now. There we go, he's going to buy a normal white one and draw an egg on it. We'll make sure he does it, and we will only, in camp, we'll only eat eggs for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Eggs will actually be happy. He's the first person I know in our camp who requested breakfast for dinner. I wasn't too chuffed with him. Okay, come on, fingers crossed. Do we have the cheetah magic today? Amanda, our chef, is actually watching and laughing. Now, Amanda is such a great chef, she could probably come up with 3 fantastic egg meals, separate, different egg meals. Now, I've spotted something that... Eggs, can you give me a zoom? Could we be this lucky? Okay, so we're going to go off to the left. We're going to hit the zoom button far into the distance. There we go. Just keep zooming. Is that end? Oh no, it's a stump. Oh, from a distance it really looked like it could, our luck could be in. Now, either I've spotted people stopping for an evening beverage. I think it might be the opposite, the worse than stopping for an evening beverage, which is stopping to change a flat tire. No, it is an evening beverage. We shall not disturb them. As we search for the ever mysterious, almost never seen cheetah. But at least my mate Gnorman's around. There he is. Off to the left. Hi, Gnorm. That is Gnorman the Gnu, the resident male wildebeest of the southern plains in Cheetah Plains. Now, last time I saw Gnorman, he was looking very happy. He had a bunch of ladies. And they've obviously think another male's got better grass at the moment, so they've abandoned poor Gnorman. But he does have some buffalo for friends, off to the left there. And maybe the buffalo, and to make poor Gnorman feel a little bit inadequate, being so buff and big in comparison. Okay, so no sign of the mysterious cheetah, so let's keep moving back towards Mr. Q. Can't help myself, I always just want to double check one more time. It's a real skill, driving and using binoculars at the same time. No, I'm just playing. Let's go back to Jamie and those wonderful lions.
Wonderful lions indeed. Sorry, I'm just finishing off a conversation. Bear with me one moment. Thanks very much for this, Texan. Sorry, there we go. All done. What's wrong, girl? Making such a noise. Here we go. She's settled down again. That lioness has been feeding and calling all at the same time, which is quite an odd sight to see. She was feeding off the buffalo and making low contact calls. Are we missing? We can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can only see 7 cubs at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that's just because one of them's behind a tree or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. No, all 8 are here. All present and accounted for. 3 cubs tackling the buffalo carcass. One of the smallest and one of the oldest side by side. Very valid point coming through from James Richard, that with the amount of time that we spend with the Nkuhumas, we should probably add them to our credit roll at the end of every show. And James, I couldn't agree with you more. We've basically been with them every single day over the last month, and I'm for one am not complaining. Oh, why are you growling at the... Oh, I see. It's the one underneath growling. Because it's being trodden upon. Oh, look. That. Tackling the buffalo. With serious concentration. I'm not complaining, because when these cubs get bigger, the Nkuhumas are going to start going back to their normal home range, which will mean they're going to Torchwood, Buffelshoek, Manuleti, Simbabili, and we're not going to see them nearly as often. We've got to take advantage of these moments while they last. And what special moments they are. I'm not even sure what the time is. I'm so torn between the different sightings. Luckily, we know both of these sightings, both Karula and the lions, will be here tomorrow. So we will be able to enjoy spending time with them. That was elegant. It was so elegant I completely forgot which particular viewer asked the question I'm about to answer. It was a tube jar. Tube jar, my apologies. My apologies, I got so distracted by the lion cub acting like a little goof that your name went straight out of my head. Tube jar, no. Lionesses generally do not tolerate the presence of another lioness or another group of lionesses in their territory. They are relatively strictly territorial. The Nkuhumas have been known to, on occasion, encounter the sticks and usually met with some serious aggression. Look at these two playing in the silver cluster leaf. I know they're very hidden, but the ones ever so slightly on the right, you're not going to be able to see them, Bim. These two, yeah, have found themselves the perfect jungle gym. So tube jar, the fights between lionesses can be quite vicious. Most of the time they avoid each other, especially when they have cubs like this, as both the sticks and the Nkuhumas do. Oh my goodness. This is so precious. Oh goodness. I'm so torn. I was going to go to Karula, but we've got these lion cubs. They're being adorable. Oh well. It's just because we're spoiled, that's why. So tube jar, chances are, if there is a situation where an unknown lioness suddenly comes out of the woodwork and is seen to be tolerated by the rest of the pride, chances are that is because she's actually a lioness that's related to them, or that they're familiar with in some way. Perhaps she left because of incoming males, for example. It does occasionally happen that prides get broken up in that way. I don't know where to look. I can't begin, because now the lion cubs are wandering through. Now the cubs are on the carcass and attacking it like they're trying to make a kill. What's got these lions up like this? All four lionesses are now up and focused. The cubs seem to be oblivious to it. But I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on. Have they spotted potential prey? It's not impossible. The incredible Nkuhumas are definitely almost constantly on the alert for the possibility of food. No, I don't think so, because Amber Eyes is still flat down on the road. I don't think so. I think the lionesses are just looking to reunite with each other. No, there we go. Okay, false alarm everybody. All is fine and well. The lionesses just reunited. So, Mia My Cat, on the subject of our little cubs tackling their buffalo meal, you were wondering if they've lost their milk teeth, because they seem to be struggling with the carcass. And no, they haven't yet. It's between 6 months and a year old that they start to grow their permanent teeth. As you know, it doesn't all happen in one go. Usually the first to come through are the canines and the incisors. And if we are fortunate as we have been, or as fortunate as we have been, we'll actually probably get to see the growth of their permanent teeth. Now, isn't that an incredibly intimate, special thing that we can share with the Nkuhumas, to watch the growth from their baby teeth to their big teeth? I think that's incredibly special. Well, you did pick the silliest spot, little one. That elbow's going to give you some serious hassle. But yes, the cubs do have to work hard to get into the buffalo carcass itself. Even for a fully grown predator, feeding off these carcasses is not easy work. The meat is unbelievably tough, and to settle in to rip it away is why the lions have those amazing carnassial shears. Oh, tantrums happening. This is not working out the way this little cub had planned. So far it hasn't managed to get anything. Very graceful. Little female playing on top of the buffalo. Oh, out of my way, out of my way. I'm moving in there now. This cub is obviously particularly hungry. So far hasn't stopped voraciously feeding. Oh, it's wonderful. We're so incredibly lucky. There's nowhere else in the world, and there's no safari trip in the world that you could go on and spend as much time with these lions as we have, to sit and watch them every day and to watch them grow up, to see them get their adult teeth, to see them go through that gangly stage that they're about to. And speaking of which, Lauren in Illinois, you wanted to know when will we start, or what age will the cubs start to go hunting with the rest of the pride. So they already start showing signs of, oh wow, look how brave you are, right up into the weeping wattle. Careful, somebody's going to fall down. Not quite the tree climbing ability of Hosanna and Shongile just yet. Or actually never. So Lauren, at easily a year old, they start showing a sign that they want to go with the pride and often mess up the hunts. At about a year and a half, then they are attempting to participate, but still essentially just messing up the hunts, whether it's because they haven't quite managed the stealth mode just yet, or perhaps just by generally getting in the way. I mean, you can see already they're practicing their technique. This is not just about feeding what they're doing to this buffalo carcass. Some of it is about practicing, learning their ability, the extent of their abilities, the strength of their claws. Again rolling off the buffalo. And then by about 2 years old, they will be active participants. And as they start to get a little bit older than that, then they are actual proper contributors to the whole process. Again, it depends on if they're male or female, although both, of course, will learn to hunt equally efficiently. It's not the case that only the females hunt or only the males hunt. And you? Is that the perfect spot? Or maybe not. Uh-oh. It's all a bit out of control. Now, young females I've noticed with prides, and I've seen it with the youngest female of the Nkuhuma as well, they are often the ones that initiate the hunts. Once they've got to that sort of 2-year-old mark and they're really learning how the whole process works, they seem to want to constantly practice it. Now, the youngest Nkuhuma female, obviously she's now perfected it, but that example that we had with Taylor a couple of mornings ago, where she was trying to hunt a giraffe, is a very good example of still being able to push her boundaries. It's one of the other reasons why young lions are of particular danger to other predators. We saw the young Nkuhuma female later on that same week chase Tingana up a tree. All lions are a threat to other predators, but they tend to be more focused. on trying to catch them. Uh-oh. I don't want you up that tree. I'm going to pull you out of it. All the cubs showing slightly more grace, but the younger cub attempting to exact revenge for the ignominious descent that it was forced him to. Sarah, the stingless bee, watching the bumbling attempts of our lions attempting to climb trees, want to know why leopards are such great climbers, whereas lions are, well, not. And the answer is, it's in terms of an evolutionary tactic, for leopards it's a survival technique. They need to be able to climb trees. Lions are social cats. They've got the protection of the pride to serve that purpose, whereas lion cubs, leopard cubs get left alone on a very regular basis, and they are very low down at the bottom of the predator hierarchy, whereas lions are right up at the top. So tree climbing is not a hugely necessary skill. That being said, lions can climb trees, believe it or not. Our cubs perhaps not giving us the best demonstration, but in certain areas they are better at it than others, particularly in places where climbing trees will get them out of the way of things like tsetse flies and provide them with much needed shade in more open areas, places like Tanzania and other open areas of Botswana. So they can climb trees, just not as well as leopards can, because they don't need to, and they're heavier. Much, much heavier. Admittedly not the lion cubs, but fully grown lions are easily, these lionesses are easily about 3 times Karula's weight, and that's just the females. So they're just not built for it. Evolutionary design has geared them towards power rather than agility. There's very little actual feeding going on here. I don't know if it's because the cubs haven't realized they should climb into the cavity of the buffalo, or if they're just having fun. It seems to be mealtime all around for the big cats of the Sabi Sand. Let's go and have a look at what Quarantine is up to with his kudu.
Well, we've made our way to Mr. Q, who is surrounded by buzzing blowflies. It doesn't seem to bother him much eating this rotting kudu carcass. Now that is a beastly big thing for a leopard to catch. And he is going to be a beastly big leopard, Mr. Quarantine. That's an almost adult male kudu. And I'm going to ask Thandi to turn up the ambient, and I'm going to keep quiet and just listen to what we're hearing. Now, Shanda's going to show you the trees above us at the moment. It is literally a sea of flies buzzing above us in these little trees, and of course around the carcass. Now, he's quite lucky now. Hyenas have come this way, because even though he's eaten most of this, or quite a lot of it, there's almost zero chance he's going to be able to hoist this carcass. It's way too big. And you can just see those flies. Now the reason he's dragged it into such a thick area is to hide it from the vultures. So he's dragged it right into under a fallen weeping wattle and a little guarri thicket to hide the carcass from the prying eyes from above. Wendy says, hasn't Quarantine just grown so much? Indeed he has, Wendy. Indeed he has. For some reason the flies seem to be stirring more now. Now, this is Dispatch Griffin's first time to see Mr. Quarantine. Now, let's just think about today. This is our fifth leopard on one drive, and they have all been Karula descendants, apart from the queen herself. So we've seen Karula, we've seen Hosana and Shongile, we've seen Tandi, and now we've seen Quarantine. Isn't that incredible that one female leopard's lineage, have spread so far? Hello, big boy. He is getting really big. He's going to be a monster. Tube Jar is wondering, is this the leopard that killed the dog? No, it's not. That was born to a female leopard called Shadow, who's the other leopard female, or the second female leopard we saw today's sister. The leopard who killed the dog is named Sindile. This guy's name is Quarantine, and the one who killed the dog has a collar, a radio and satellite tracking collar on him at the moment. Okay, so if we come out a little bit, apparently a few people are wondering, where's my hand? There, what that is there. That is the stomach that he has removed. Not much in there for him to eat. There's a lot of meat left on this carcass, even though he's sort of only eaten half, I reckon. Maybe a bit more than half. Look at those flies buzzing around. I'd be quite happy that it's getting towards night. Because a lot of those flies will stop buzzing, they'll rest up, give them a little bit of respite. Because the animals do get sometimes quite annoyed with those flies while they're feeding. How many flies do you reckon he swallowed? I reckon he swallowed a few today. Definitely fly eggs. Maybe an odd maggot or two. Hi, Dory in South Carolina. Dory's wondering, could the Anderson male leopard be Quarantine's father? There is a possibility, Dory. There's sort of three main contenders for Quarantine's parenthood. Anderson are on the outside, but most likely he's either side by Tingana or Mvula. And unless we do genetics, which we should get hopefully one day, to be able to say for sure who his father is. Now, Karula was seen mating with all three of those males. I have seen her mate with all three of those males. Anderson is an outside chance. He wasn't that far east yet. But remember, female leopards move well out of their territory to mate. So it is possible. Oh, I nearly swallowed a fly. I'm going to close my mouth quickly there. Definitely don't want to swallow one of these flies. I know exactly where they've been. Kathy's wondering, is this a big kill for a leopard? It's a massive kill for a leopard. I mean, that kudu probably weighs close on 200 kilos. What's that? 180 kilos. 200 kilos, because maths is not my strong point. So we'd make it about probably about 400 pounds, easily. And that is a massive, massive kill for a leopard. Now, Quarantine seems to like kudu, but this is definitely the biggest kudu I've seen him take. It's a nearly full-grown male kudu. I've seen him take adult female kudu before, or seen him on adult female kudu carcasses, but never one this big. But he is quite a lot bigger than when he used to live on Djuma. He's grown substantially. He's definitely going to put in, there's a big chance he's going to put in a shot for the dominant male leopard in this part of the world, probably even as early as next year. I'm just very happy we still get to see him, unlike his brother Nkuhuma, who was one of my favorites. He's headed further south to the Sand River. Mauricia says it's her lucky day today because Tandi and Quarantine are her favorite leopards. Well, good for you, Mauricia. You're a lucky fish. Now, I'm actually going to leave shortly because this kill's on the ground. We don't want to be here after dark, attracting any unwanted attention. But maybe, Mr. Q, are you going to walk us all the way to 3 in a row pan for a drink? That would be very kind of you. I think this is Xander's first sighting of Quarantine. Where's he going? He's right behind the car. Is he lying down? No, he's moving. Okay, let's do the same. Oh, Thunder's caught a fly. Just think where that fly's been. As I said, I'm hoping he might go for a drink. He might just lie down and digest for a while there. It's not too far from 3 in a row pan. Safari Hay says, I miss Nkuhuma, the baboon killer. Me too. He did have quite a lot of attitude, young Nkuhuma. Okay, we're just going to have one last quick look at Mr. Q. And because it is getting a bit dark and his kill is on the ground. Here he is. I really enjoy this leopard. He's one of my favorites to photograph. Always up to something. And look at those incredible eyes. He moved away from the carcass probably to get away from all those flies. Oh, he's a pretty boy. Absolutely gorgeous. Magical creature. Giving himself a good bath. I think, I mean, at this age and at his size, he might even have a go at a single hyena that tries to steal his kill. Wouldn't that be something to see? Okay, Mr. Q. Time for us to make our way out of here. Leave you to your rotting kudu carcass. Hopefully he'll still be here in the morning and he doesn't lose it to hyenas. He is definitely one of my favorites. Bye! Oh, thorn tree. Now, Richie is asking, when will Mr. Q be ready to mate? Now, that's all dependent. Possibly from as young as 5, maybe even 4. It just depends on the other male leopards in the area and whether the females will have them. Actually, in some cases, females don't like mating with young males. They're worried they're going to move through the area quite quickly and another male will come in, so there's a good chance their cubs might be killed. So it's going to be quite interesting to see when he does set up shop and become a dominant male. He's already shown very dominant displays for a young male leopard. We've had him with Shivambalan, who's an older male and a little bit bigger now, but I would say they're pretty close in size now. And they've had standoffs actually on this very road. So it's going to be absolutely amazing to see how that little story pans out between Shivambalan and Quarantine. Of course, from Nkanyeni's point of view, that's quite a risk because she's still got 2 cubs, probably around a year old now, so they're still within that sort of zone where he would kill them. So hopefully for Nkanyen's sake, those cubs get to adulthood and move off before he becomes the dominant in this area. But I think he might become dominant earlier than I've seen other male leopards before. Nearly time for me to get the old spotlight out. Nearly there, it's not quite dark enough yet. Okay, well, I'm going to start slowly making my way back towards Djuma. While I do that, let's go see what Jamie's up to.
We have left our lion cubs for now. It did start to get a little bit too dark, and as I mentioned earlier, we don't have any infrared on this vehicle, which means that we actually unfortunately can't stay with them. I'm just popping in to check whether or not our bush baby is home. Might still be a little bit early. Now, of course, they don't sleep in the same nest site each and every night. Our little bush baby may not be here. I suppose it's too much to hope that we get the timing right each time we visit it. The last time I stopped here, no, not quite. One of the times that I stopped here, we were sitting watching an empty hole just like this, and all of a sudden it was filled with the adorable face of a tiny little bush baby. Oh, the lions are roaring. Very half-hearted roaring. Soft, almost contact call roars. Obviously not wanting to draw attention to themselves with the cubs and a kill. Perhaps even avoiding the attentions of the Birmingham boys, who might decide to come and steal what's left of that buffalo. And so we head off into the evening to see what wonderful and mysterious nocturnal creatures we can find. and we will return at the start of the sunrise safari tomorrow morning to see what the lions have been up to while we were away. I think there's enough meat on that buffalo left that they will probably still be somewhere close. Unless, of course, the incredible Nkuhumas decide to do it once again and go off in search of more prey, more buffalo. Perhaps some herd was wandering through in the evening. You never know, there have been lots and lots of buffalo around recently. And then there's also, of course, the prospect of the Queen being around. And hello to Michael, who is 13 years old. Now, Michael would like to know if we get sable in the Sabi sand. And we do, Michael. We absolutely do. They seem to spend more time towards the sort of eastern areas of the Sabi sand, so around in coral, but there's always the possibility of seeing one. Now, I assume, Michael, that you know what a sable is because you've asked about them, but for viewers that aren't familiar with this incredible antelope, it is a massive, dark-colored, almost glossy black antelope with enormous backwards curving horns. Truly, truly stunning to look at. Now, recently, Michael, you know that we have the 24-hour dam camera up at the Voyatella Dam. Well, recently, a sable was seen on the dam camera for the first time in 17 years that a sable had been seen on Djuma. Now, we all raced out that morning very, very excited to go and see what was happening and to see if we can track down the sable. So excited, in fact, that Scott got his sable and his Inyala mixed up because he saw something big and dark, thought it was the sable, and in those days we were still doing what's known as crash cuts, where the director could just cut the one presenter in the middle of the sentence and cuts to the other feed straight away. Anyway, it turned out he called for a crash cut for an Inyala, which was hilarious. And totally understandable. I could easily have made the same mistake. We were all so pent up with excitement at the prospect of a sable. So you never know. Keep watching, Michael. Watch the space. Maybe one day we will see one. Maybe one day we will have the traverse to see one. Perhaps we'll be... Sorry, I'm too warm. There we go. Drive and unzip my jacket at the same time. Though it is a distinct possibility we could see one. There's a couple of antelope that I would love to show to you. Antelope that I've worked at in other reserves, in other parts of South Africa. Things like Gemsbok with their massive upwards pointing horns like spears above their heads. Also known as oryx. They are truly magnificent creatures and massive and powerful. I'd love to show you eland as well. We could get them here. There are eland in the Kruger National Park, but usually much further north. I believe, though, you did get to see them when you were with James in the Mara Triangle. I'd love to show you roan, sable, Gemsbok, Hartebeest, Bontebok. Oh, there's so many amazing antelope out here that we haven't managed to show you. Bontebok and Blesbok much more towards the central and southeastern parts of the country. But for now we shall have to content ourselves with a search for the mysterious nocturnal creatures of Djuma. Sorry, I'm going to try and turn this down. Lots of chatter happening. Perhaps it is warm enough now for us to see the first chameleon of the season. It's been too cold recently. In fact, I think this might be the coldest October I've ever experienced out here. I'm not complaining about it because it hasn't been, it's still mild. It's just unusual for this time of year. And it has put a slight delay on our reptile sightings that we've been so eagerly anticipating. Oh. Trying to track a car driving on Gowrie Main. Wondered why the light, the reflection was moving so fast. It's amazing. Takes a lot of getting used to being able to see as far into the bush as we have been able to see recently. Alright, dropping my lights down. Oh, sorry, Wildy. While I sneak past this wildebeest, let's head across to Brent for an update on his journey back to Djuma.
Wow, what an afternoon so far. And it's not over yet. You never know what's around the next corner. That's the joy of being alive out in the African bush. Remember, hashtag Safari Live, questions at WildEarthTV if you'd like to ask any questions. We've seen 5 different leopards, the Nkuhuma pride, buffalo, elephant, few gremlins here and there, but fortunately the animals treated us because we had those gremlins. Now, who knows what we're going to find on the way home? Could there be a civet, a serval, a genet, or a bush baby, or the first chameleon of the year? Dispatch Griffin says it's begun to expect gremlins as a natural animal on the safari. Well, hopefully one day we will have exterminated gremlins from this part of the world. Now, the prospects for tomorrow morning are incredible. We've got the lions, Karula, the cubs, possibly Tandi and cubs, and possibly quarantine again. So I'm very excited to wake up before the sun rises tomorrow morning and get out and search for the incredible wildlife of Africa. Okay, let's have a look down the road. Nothing there. A lot of the predators like to use these roads as highways, and they walk along them quite regularly. So it's the right time of the evening for things to be moving. So you never know. We might even find a hyena strolling down the road. Oh, bugs are definitely back. What a beautiful early summer's evening. Now, as I said, it's been quite cold the year. I wonder when he's going to really ride. Okay, so as we make our way back to Djuma, we've got to go through a deep gully where the signal's a bit iffy. So while we do that, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on the back of the vehicle with us. Eggsy and myself will bid you adieu and see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
And as the evening starts to descend on Djuma, I'm already feeling the excitement for the day ahead as we, and I have to admit, heading back to camp to Amanda's cooking. Luckily for us, it's not International Egg Day just yet. What was the date again of International Egg Day? The 14th of October. Oh, if I knew what the date was now, that would probably mean a little bit more. I see, it's Friday. Okay. Not that I dislike eggs, but 3 meals a day sounds like it might be a little bit much on International Egg Day. But yes, heading back to the amazing aromas of Amanda's cooking. I'm positive I can smell them wafting across quarantine already. Aha. But before we do that, I see a bush baby. There you go, Ray. I'm speeding up ever so slightly. You wanted to know what a bush baby is. Well, Ray, I'm hoping I can show you. Spotted it from way off, because their eyes reflect the light so brightly. Hold on to your seat, Ray. I'm about to try and show you what a bush baby looks like. Oh, I've lost it. And the bush baby is bouncing about this tree. Can we do it before the end of the sunset safari? Maybe not. Where's it gone now? Oh, there it is. I need a view through the trees. Through the trees. There we go. Oh, it's right at the back there. Here we go. This is for Ray. I'm hoping we can see it. It's quite well hidden. Come on, bush baby. Oh, I saw it move there. There it is at the slight bottom. Oh no! All that excitement. Oh, there it goes down. And gone. It was down at the bottom there. Aha! Sorry, Ray. I tried. Whoops. And I dipped my spotlight. Try one more time from another angle. One last ditched attempt at a bush baby sighting. They are incredibly tricky animals to get on camera. We've managed well recently. Had some fantastic bush baby sightings. Oh, this would definitely have been the more intelligent approach. I'm just scanning quickly to see if I can't work out where it's gone. But I think it's jumped ship, or at least jumped tree. Ah. Oh well. It was a thought. I tried, Ray. I'm sorry. Oh, there. Ah. Again behind the branches. Ray, a bush baby is the smallest of our primates. Got it. There we go. A tiny little nocturnal creature. Yes! And it's out in the open. There you go, Ray. That is a bush baby. A lesser galago. And one of the cutest of the animals out here. Tiny little nocturnal primate. Out at night to feed off tree sap. Oh, and insects. You can see how keen that one was to catch that moth that just flew by. Stopping to have a quick foot lick before depositing drops of urine on its feet and bouncing about to scent mark regular places, pathways along the trees. Yay! We got it. Something attracted its attention there, so it ducked down to go off hunting. Oh, unfortunately, we have run out of time on our sunset safari, although fortunately we got the bush baby. So a big thank you to VM for his fantastic camera work as always, as well, and his tech work at the moment, as well as to Kirsty and to Jerry in Final Control. Most importantly, a very big thank you to all of you joining us across the globe. I do hope you've had a marvelous time, and that you're excited about the possibility of Karula and lions and all sorts of things tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari. But until we see you then, it's time for us to say farewell. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you happen to be. Bye-bye, everybody.